Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go through the two lessons that were handed out on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to start with Tuesday, which looked at solving quadratic equations word problems. And then I will get to the next days, which dealt with finding max and min values. Some of the key things that are highlighted in the lesson is to make sure that you identify your variables and that you're able to create two equations and then eventually sub into one single quadratic equation where we're going to solve either by factoring or a quadratic formula. The first question, the sum of the squares of two consecutive odd integers is 290. Find the integers. So we don't know what the two integers are. So we're going to let x represent the first integer, and we're going to let y represent the second integer. From here, we want to try to create two equations whereby we can sub one into the other. One of the first things, it says the sum of the squares of two consecutive odd integers is 290. So from that, we can create x squared plus y squared is equal to 290. The second equation comes from the idea that there's two consecutive odd integers. So if y is the second integer, we can say that y is equal to the first integer plus 2. This comes from the idea that they're odd integers. So think of it in terms of 3, 5, 7. They all differ by 2. So if x is the first integer, say 5, the next odd integer would be 2 more. That's why I'm setting y is equal to x plus 2. It's at this point now that we can solve by substitution by subbing this in for y into the first equation and solve. This will create a single quadratic equation with only the x as our variable. So I'll go ahead and sub that in. So I now will have x squared plus x plus 2 squared is equal to 290. Whenever we're solving, we want to make sure that we are expanding, setting it equal to 0, and then solving. So I'm going to need to expand this. Be careful not to just expand this to x squared plus 4. I know some of you probably tried it and were like, why doesn't this work out? But remember, this squared is telling you to take x plus 2 times x plus 2. So this expands to x squared plus 4x plus 2, or 4, just kidding. And that's equal to 290. Now I'm going to set this equal to 0, collect some like terms. I'm going to get 2x squared plus 4x, and then that comes across, becomes minus 290. So 4 minus 290 is minus 286. Here I'm solving, so I'm looking at common factor out of 2. So I'll bring a 2 out. I'm left with x squared plus 2x minus 143. And then I'll look to see if I can factor either by quadratic formula, solve by factoring, or use the quadratic formula. Just for fun, I'm going to use the quadratic formula, just see how my skills are this late at night. So my a value is going to be 1, b value is going to be 2, c value is going to be negative 143. X then is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 143 all over 2 times 1 x then is equal to -2 plus or minus square root, oh, the sweet sound of a calculator, 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times -143. I get 576 under there, which is good because I know I need that to work out to an integer. Square root of 576 is 24. So -2 plus or minus 24 over 2, which becomes -1 plus or minus 12 over 1, which gives us x equal to -1 minus 12 is -13, or x equal to -1 plus 12, which is 11. So we have two possible solutions here for x, because when we do square, then we end up with another positive term. So we need to find our y values. So up here, I'm going to sub x equal to -13 into y equals x plus 2. Therefore, we get y is equal to -13 plus 2. Y is equal to -11. Therefore, -11 and -13 are two consecutive integers. As well, I need to put the other value in. So sub x equal to 11 into y equals x plus 2. So y is equal to 11 plus 2, or y is equal to 13. Therefore, we have 11 and 13. So we have two possible solutions here, -11 and -13, as well as 11 and 13. Questions?